Close Encounters of the Third Kind was Spielberg's first film after Jaws, which was the most successful film of all time at that point. And on Close Encounters' initial release, it was already being called a masterpiece. Spielberg goes back to his roots and tells a story much more personal for him about people coming into contact with mysterious aliens. Almost nothing is known or explained about the outside visitors for the first 90 minutes of the movie, except that they attempt to communicate through music and really like flying and giving people sunburns. And the suspense in the first half is brilliant. You know going into this movie it's about aliens, but I've never seen an alien invasion movie done where the wonder and mystery of what is happening is so perfectly captured. There are scenes of breathtaking beauty as well as genuine terror. Richard Dreyfuss is a man who encounters the extraterrestrials and is so moved by his experience he becomes obsessed with it, almost at times seeming that he is receiving visions from other worlds. He becomes so obsessed it drives his family away, but all that matters to him is finding out the truth behind these flying saucers. This is looked at today as being a rather bold move for Spielberg, and Richard Dreyfuss's character could be viewed as being a terrible person for essentially abandoning his family. But I think the point that Spielberg is trying to make is that the aliens here represent a sort of spiritual experience, or a revelation, something that happens that completely changes your whole life. And truly, that's probably what discovering other advanced life would really mean to a lot of people. There's also a woman who is touched by the experience too, but in one of the more suspenseful scenes, her son is taken, so she's motivated more to get her son back. Richard Dreyfuss is pretty fantastic in this, but Melinda Dillon, who plays the mom, is probably the best in the film. There's also a character played by famous director Francois Truffaut. I'm not exactly sure why Spielberg wanted him in the movie. I mean, he's a good actor and everything, but probably he's just a Francois Truffaut fan. By the way, try saying Francois Truffaut fan 3 times fast. This movie only came out a few months after Star Wars, and I think the special effects are really on par. It became a very specific style for Spielberg with the lens flares and strobes of light. A lot of this would become a staple for what makes a film feel like a Spielberg movie. This was probably perfected later in E.T., but the fact that the TV is always on in the background, toys scattered around, give it a kind of small home life chaos that is rarely seen in films before it. This is one of the many reasons why this film has a very nostalgic feel. I didn't even grow up in this decade, and I feel like this was my house. If I have any nitpicks with the movie, it's that the second half isn't quite as strong as the first. It's not bad, it's just that in the second half, you really just bask in the awe of what is happening. It almost has a 2001 A Space Odyssey kind of vibe to it, but in a much more positive light. And it's just that I was loving the suspense of the first half so much that the second half never quite feels as strong. The movie was an enormous success and made Steven Spielberg practically a household name. It may not be one of my favorite Spielberg movies, but it contains some of the more brilliant moments of his entire career.